Hello Virgo friends, my name is Annie Botticelli and I'm going to give you a very in-depth report of how you are likely to see this January 2020 eclipse occur for you. Eclipses are very dramatic times in the zodiac experience because they bring massive endings, breakthroughs, dramatic new beginnings, they bring tearful goodbyes, and they bring blissful welcome hellos. A lot of times there are surprises, and a lot of times there are things that have been pending that actually pull through. And that's for better or worse. So as we get closer to January 10th, when this is actually occurring, the eclipse season starts to cook up. So eclipses as an astronomical event happen at one time when they're happening. As an astrological event, they take place over years. This cycle takes place over years, and the actual eclipse effects take place over very many months. So between 2018 and 2020 is when this Cancer Capricorn eclipse cycle is bringing storylines in certain areas of experience for each zodiac member, and this report is going to show you those fields of experience that are accentuated for you. 4 to 6 weeks or so before the actual eclipse, so that places us like November, is more likely to have a very strong cooking up of these eclipse storylines that maybe had fallen a little bit below the backdrop. At eclipse time, as we get closer to the eclipse, they start to bring back up again as a very major theme. And sometimes you can even see it before the 4 to 6 weeks time frame. And because this first eclipse in this series, it was in December, October is actually when we might start seeing eclipse changes in general, cooking up in a big way. So definitely go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com, to check out my blogs and other free goodies I have for you, including when you sign up for my free email newsletter, you get a written report of the aspects to come a month early. So the days of notable aspects, the actual aspects, and what you can expect from those delivered into your inbox a month early, and my 28-day virtual coaching program called Shine for free as well. So you can look for that at anniehelpsyou.com. If you want written horoscopes, you can go to cozybysweetstarlight.com. I write written horoscopes a month early. And if you want video horoscopes a month early, you can check out my YouTube channel, Annie Botticelli YouTube. Okay, so I have finally figured out how to do a split screen recording. It's been forever. I've been wanting to do this because I have many people requesting that I personally stay on the video more, but then I have other people requesting they want to see the visuals of the charts. So now I can make everybody happy, which is always exciting for a win-win. I am an astrology teacher, so I go in way more detail, and I also like to explain to you why you will likely explain or experience something rather than just what you may experience, okay? So I'm going to lay a little groundwork, and then I'm going to get into the goods of how I have seen eclipses in these certain arenas of life where Virgo is going to experience them, how I've seen those manifest for people from doing thousands of live readings, from doing in-depth horoscopes for many years, for watching these personally for decades. So I'll give you all the goods on what you can expect to see. Okay, first let's see. Early degree Virgo placements are basically our August born or 0 to 9 degrees, middle around September 1st through 10th or 10 to 19 degrees, and late around September 11th through the rest of the sign or 20 to 29 degrees. If you have a Virgo moon or Virgo rising or Virgo sun, this is equally for you. I always recommend for everyone to watch reports, these reports and every report, for your rising sign and your sun sign at least. See, this window out of my RV is showing one scene. That window is showing another scene. That window is showing another scene. And those, like the moon chart, the sun chart, the rising chart, are all pictures or windows out of our experience that show more of the total astrological picture that we'll be experiencing. Okay, so here's a little overview. All zodiac placements will likely experience fourth house changes at this eclipse because the fourth house is ruled by Cancer and the eclipse is actually in Cancer. Okay, so in general, because Cancer is a water sign and that's in a nice angle to Virgo placements, it's more likely for this eclipse to be friendly to your Virgo placement. Now this is a limited view. We don't know what other placements you have in the chart or what angles they're going to make to your other placements. But strictly from your Virgo placement standpoint, if you have especially between 15 and 25 degrees, the closer to 20 degrees, the more powerful. That's going to be even more powerful for you. So from the birthday perspective, we're looking at like September 5th through September 15th, and then around September 10th, the most exact hit, but the range from around September 5th to the 15th will be even more notable outcomes from this. And again, since that's a favorable angle, that's more likely to be a sweet manifestation, or at least have a silver lining of major consequence. Okay, so we talked about everyone having it in the 4th house. Now, all early, middle, and late degree Virgo placements are likely to see this eclipse manifestation in the 11th house. Middle to late, you may also see the 10th house eclipse. Okay, so why could this be in a different place for different people? We're going to look at that. If you are looking at a whole house astrology chart, you wouldn't be taking into consideration that middle and late degree placements may see something different. And those charts are also true. Okay? They're true at the same time as these are. This is just more information that's true at the same time. When we look at where 20 degrees is, now I'm using this December chart, but it doesn't matter because we're looking at a point on the chart, not a planet that's in movement. The eclipse is not in movement, it's at a static place. So 20 degrees of Cancer falls clearly into the 11th house for early degree placements. While middle degree placements, when that 20 degree mark comes closer this way, that means it's on the line here between the 11th and 10th house. That means you can see manifestations in the 11th or 10th house. For the late degree placements, for many of you will actually definitely have that experience in the 10th house. The eclipse will actually be there for you. But even for you late degree placements, it will likely be close enough to the 11th house that you could see the 11th house manifestation as well. And that's why I have on my trusty little chart, that's why I have all placements 11th house, but only middle and late for 10th house. So now what's going to happen is I'm going to drop in a tutorial with bullet points of the areas of life that I have seen accentuated where the endings, the beginnings, the notable progress and occurrences are likely to take place. So we'll do the 11th house tutorial. That will be true for all of you. We'll do the 4th house tutorial after that. That will be true for all of you. And then I'll drop in the 10th house tutorial. So if you are a September born placement or you have 10 to 29 degree Virgo placement, then you'll want to stay tuned for that last segment, which is the 10th house tutorial. Eclipses usually tend to bring something very emotional that's occurring. And the emotion is centered around the house and the sign that the eclipse is occurring. Some people will have close mathematical tie-ins to their personal chart with certain eclipses that will make them more of kind of in the experience of the changes. Other people will have others around them going through changes and hold the space for those people. And some people have both going on. You know, you'll notice there are times where you're like, what the heck is going on here? Everyone's going through so much. And a lot of times those coincide with these eclipse cycles. When there's an eclipse in the 11th house or the sign of Aquarius, there are certain sectors of life that are brought into focus. Eclipses tend to bring dramatic endings, things coming to completion or fruition, like through goal and accomplishment, or sometimes through just an abrupt surprise ending that's completely out of your control. Sometimes they also bring in new opportunities, brilliant, awesome things that just come to you or that come from things that you cultivated in the past. So the 11th house and Aquarius sectors that will tend to be highlighted with these eclipses in these areas, are friendships. Sometimes a sudden incoming of a new friend or a person of consequence, whether it's an acquaintance or a key contact, or the ending of a friendship through someone moving or, transitioning, or through an argument or a falling out. Falling outs with a friendship can occur. Changes in your relationship with certain friendships can also happen, where maybe there's been an unhealthy dynamic and you could be moving along a continuum to having more functionality in this key relationship, but also in your relationships in general. Changes to your place in the group. So finding your footing, like finding your tribe, finding, people who you resonate with and your place within that group, or feeling alienated in certain groups and having to regain your footing and figure out where it is you feel like you really belong. Friendship circles can change. Dating opportunities can come, especially through online or friends trying to set you up with somebody. And definitely with things like this, pay attention to what the other factors I talk about as far as personal planet retrogrades, that flavor the period of time that the eclipse is happening. But in general, dating and acquaintances and friendship circles and groups, like let's say you're part of a philosophy group, or let's say you're on a team of some sort within your work, or for a hobby, or for an interest or something like that. Changes in those sectors are very common at this time. Finding a new group is also very common, or losing resonance with a current group. People, when they're having eclipse cycles in the 11th house, will often be reevaluating their friendships and reevaluating their social circles, and also reevaluating social media and the relationship to social media. So the new, the starting of social media accounts, the progressing of social media work, or the stepping away from and reevaluation of social media. Anything internet-based is also here. So, launching websites, internet work, getting your work out into the world in a bigger way. Creating online communities, or anything community-based in person. So having community efforts, grassroots things, are all coming into the forefront with a greater frequency. Work with large organizations, either as part of one or like collaborating with. And humanitarian efforts, so nonprofits or working with something that's already established, can tend to come up in a bigger way. The 11th house and the energy of Aquarius is also the sector of your big dreams, not the ones you have at night, but the dreams that you have for your life. So evaluation and reevaluation of what it is that you would love if you didn't have any limitations, if you didn't have any obstacles. What is it that you would just really love to do? So the figuring out of that and movement along actually doing something on the topic of your big dreams is something that can also come in a big way. So opportunities, resources, shifts in that arena, or those arenas, would be more likely at this time. Inventions and anything else with technology or future-based efforts are also related to this house and sign, as are unconventional relationships, unconventional ways of doing things. So like cutting edge, new information, being on the leading edge of expansion. So projects that could be related to things like that can come to fruition, or can come in a big way, or move along in a progression. Okay, so eclipses tend to bring changes in trajectory, new opportunities coming to fruition of things in process, surprises, drama, bright openings, notable things in the forefront of home and family, and some other headers. So we're going to look at some common ways that I have seen the fourth house or Cancer eclipses manifest. Home and housing. So many people will move during an eclipse cycle where there's a fourth house or Cancer eclipse, moving to a new place. Some people, this will include like a bilocation or a multiple location. Like if you have a house already, you can set up a second residence or a different residence in addition to the one you already have. For some people, it manifests as just a complete, clean, different move. Sometimes it's a temporary move or a temporary change in housing. This energy very much can rule sales, or sales or purchases of homes, getting a home ready for sale, purchasing a new home. Even though eclipse time very often brings these into the forefront, definitely always pay attention to the other information I give for the horoscopes at that time to understand how other transits that can be occurring at the same time as the eclipse season can interfere or enable contractual arrangements and big steps. Very often, a fourth house eclipse will have to do with the changing of occupancy within your home. So let's say you're there and you stay there and the house is the same, but someone moves out or someone moves in. Or you start using your home for home-based business. The starting of a home-based business is very common. At bringing on, an Airbnb or any other home-based business where you're working online. making repairs or making additions or changes to the home. And again, with these kind of things, definitely pay attention to the other aspects of the time, because, minor repairs can be fine at any time, but if you're going to do major additions, there are other astrological factors that I always speak to in the horoscopes that can be relevant. But I do see these eclipses tend to bring movement along these fronts with things like this. Changes in or notable things going on in family, and that's your family that you live with or your family that you came from. Drama, solutions, healings, people getting married, so there's new entrances to the family, people having separations, new children coming into the family. I see a focus on ancestry and genealogy come up very often in this. You might find out you have a relative that is notable. You might connect with someone in your genealogy. You may become really interested in tracking your ancestry or genealogy. Or someone may contact you. Childhood psychology is another thing I see come up. There are rhythms at play in our lives, and and things tend to be cyclical. So the things that you're experiencing now, a lot of the ways that you feel right now, you felt as a child, and that had to do with childhood imprinting and many other factors. But the relationship between what you're experiencing now and what happened as a child, and possibly even prior to, if you believe in past lives or if you believe in genetic memory manifesting as our experience. So, attention to what's happening now as it relates to the past, and doing inner work to help stop the cycles for yourself and your family. So that I see that often come up with the fourth house eclipses or Cancer eclipses. So in general, with the fourth house or Cancer eclipse, be prepared to focus on your inner world, or the things closest to you, like home level, family level, history, and your emotional or inner space. Eclipses tend to bring in new opportunities and or dramatic endings and closures, or things coming to fruition. The things that tend to be highlighted at a 10th house eclipse time or Capricorn eclipse time are the work sector. So job, boss, co-workers as it relates to your work experience, your career. So ending a job is very, very common at eclipse time, either through getting fired, having a compensation package, or voluntary leaving of the job. Sometimes new opportunities for work come in that you can do on the side of your other work. So a new job opportunity that allows you to keep your current one, so it just kind of adds to. And sometimes it's a lateral movement. Sometimes there's a move for work. So there's a work opportunity, but it requires a move. And sometimes there's a necessity to move, which can necessitate the change for work because of the move. So it can work either way. A lot of times when there's an eclipse in the 10th house, or an eclipse cycle is working in the 10th house or in Capricorn, father or father figures come into the forefront in a bigger way. Sometimes dad has something going on. There could be illness, there could be pressure, there could be something they're experiencing. Sometimes it could just be that the father or father figure is helping you, or that your relationship to father, either through forgiveness or through other, collaboration, could be coming into the forefront. So projects with dad, relationship with dad, is often going to come into the forefront. Authority figures, which again usually has a basis in what your relationship was like with your father as a child, or your father figure, or lack of father figure, but clashes with authority, including like legal or police matters, sometimes come for people, or bosses, or you being your own authority, finding your inner authority, or, kind of like being an authority to somebody else, management positions, or stepping into those type of roles. For those who don't work or have a career or need to make money, the energy of the place out in the world can often come up at eclipse time with a 10th house or Capricorn eclipse, where there's a finding of a dharmic path, like this is what I'm supposed to do, which may or may not be related to money. But stepping out into the world, taking one's role in the world, doing what someone came here to do, sometimes there's movement along those fronts, either through accomplishment, like you accomplish a goal of what you set out to do, or through greater discovery about what it is exactly that you're supposed to do. One of the resources that I really love for this is a book called Astrology for the Soul by Jan Spiller. She's my favorite astrologer, and this book has had the most influence on me. So that her book can help you through a certain placement in your chart to better understand the pitfalls that keep you away from doing what you're supposed to do, and what your highest expression is and how to get there. So I highly recommend that for everybody, especially when this cycle is occurring. The energy of discipline and responsibility. So some people have too much discipline and too much responsibility, in which cases these eclipses could cut out something that you were responsible for. It could be, maybe a child is graduating from college, or, something is happening where there's an ending to what you were responsible for. Maybe you had a goal and you were disciplined to get there, and you reached the goal, and now you can lighten up a bit. And for others, it will bring up the question of possibly needing more discipline. So something could occur from the outside, or an impetus can occur from the inside to get a strategy together, to be more responsible, to be more accountable, to take more ownership, and, get back more feeling like you're in the driver's seat of your life through your work and discipline and your strategy or bigger plan. So strategies can end, shift, be new, come into fruition. Lots of movement in all of these areas at this time. I hope you feel very prepared now for eclipse season and understanding what kinds of changes may be ahead for you. Definitely go to my website, anniehelpsyou.com, to check out all of my astrology blogs and all of my other goodies there, including when you sign up for my free email newsletter, you will get a month early a written general transit report, including all of the notable aspects, the dates of the aspects, and what you can expect from each. And you'll also get my 28-day virtual coaching program called Shine for free when you sign up for my free email newsletter, besides other goodies there. If you want written horoscopes by me, go to cozybysweetstarlight.com, and all of the links that I give you are also in the notes underneath. If you just click more underneath the video, you'll see all the websites there. So at cozybysweetstarlight.com, I have lifestyle blogs for healthy living, and I also have written horoscopes, again, up 1 month early, so you can check out what else is going on for your sign 1 month early. If you'd like to learn astrology and you resonate with how I teach, then definitely check out my astrology apprenticeship program, also at anniehelpsyou.com. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I hope you have a wonderful eclipse season. Definitely check out my horoscopes, my individual horoscopes for each sign for you on my YouTube channel, Annie Botticelli YouTube. You can check out my monthly reports. I always have them up a month early. And definitely also check out the November report, because I do talk about the December eclipse and its manifestations in there. And those eclipse manifestations can echo out, January, February, even March, beyond. So to have a good understanding about where the first eclipse hit, you can check out my November report, where I go into lots of details about that for you. I hope you have a wonderful month, and I'll see you next month. Bye.